Aslaug, queen of prophecy. Prologue, woman with a cloak and a lute. On the northern coast, where silver rain meets waves, stood a lone figure in a dark cloak. Her eyes looked far away, beyond the horizon, where the seas fought with the sky. In her hands she held a lute. Her song was as old as the world, not human, but of those known only to the stars. This was Aslaug, the daughter of the legendary hero Sigurd, the slayer of Fafnir and the prophetess Brynhild. Not just blood flowed in her veins, but the memory of myths. Chapter 1, Meeting Ragnar. Aslaug appeared in the series like a prophecy that no one expected. She came into Ragnar Lothbrok's life at the moment when his heart had already begun to move away from Lagertha. Her image, a barefoot woman in rags, was deceiving. In fact, she was educated, possessed of magic and a deep understanding of the world. Ragnar, enchanted by her beauty and wisdom, accepts her first as a lover, then as a wife. She bears him sons, one after another: Ivar the Boneless, Sigurd Snake-Eye, Ube, Kvitserk. Her motherhood is a sacred mission, but their union divides the world into before and after. Lagertha leaves, leaving behind the throne and Ragnar. And in the eyes of the inhabitants of Kattegat, Aslaug becomes not a queen, but a thief of fate. Chapter 2, Prophetess, not a queen. Aslaug did not aspire to the throne, at least not at first. She did not plot, did not fight. She knew that power is not only in swords, but in words, in dreams, in the whispers of the gods. Her visions often became reality. She warned Ragnar of danger. She knew that the birth of Ivar would be a sign of great power, but also of great pain. She had dreams often. In one, the sea was on fire. In another, her sons were fighting each other. She talked about it, but they didn't listen to her. She was respected, but not loved. The people of Kattegat didn't trust a woman who saw too much. Chapter 3, Battles without a sword. Aslaug did not take part in the battles on the field, but she fought in her own way. When Ragnar disappeared, it was rumored that he had died or fled, and Kattegat was left without a ruler. Then Aslaug took power. She was not a warrior, but she was the mother of warriors. Her wisdom kept the balance between the clans, maintained the fleet, took care of the future. When jarls from neighboring lands tried to take advantage of Ragnar's absence, she sent messengers, gold, threats. She was feared not for her strength but for her influence. And yet she knew her power was temporary. When Lagertha returned with a sword, with honor, with the love of the people, everything would change. Chapter 4, The Fall. When Ragnar returned, he was no longer the hero. He was broken, and Aslaug saw it. She looked at him not as a woman at a man, but as a prophetess at fate. He did not embrace her. He did not look into her eyes. She understood. His spirit had long been gone. But the main fall awaited ahead. Lagertha returns. She is no longer just a shield-bearer. She is retribution. She comes to Kattegat with an army and with hatred in her heart. Aslaug does not fight. She leaves the castle with dignity. She offers peace. She does not want war between women, does not want to destroy Kattegat. I will go with honor. Shed no blood. Give me life. Lagertha nods, and shoots her with a bow. Aslaug falls. Her blood mixes with the rain. Her body is in clay, and her soul is between worlds. Chapter 5, After Death. Her death was not forgotten. When her sons learned of the betrayal, especially Ivar, he swore revenge. The murder of his mother was a new beginning. And it was this event that lit the fire that would later burn many cities, destroy England, and destroy Kattegat. But no one heard her voice anymore. No one heard the song she sang by the hearth. No one saw her eyes when she laid her son's head on her lap. Epilogue, myth. They say that in the northeast, in the snows, there is an old tower. Every night a song is heard there, and in it are memories of a dragon father, a prophetess mother, and sons who fight not for the land, but for the past. And every woman who looks over her husband's shoulder feels. Aslaug's fate is not yet complete, because the gods are not forgotten, and women born of legend are too. Part 2. Chapter 6, Before Ragnar. A daughter from the ruins. Few knew who Aslaug was before she met Ragnar. She was born in the shadow of fame. Her father, Sigurd the Fafnir Slayer, was a hero from the sagas, and her mother, Brynhild, was a Valkyrie punished for her pride. Her childhood was short. When her parents died, she was hidden in a chest, disguised as a simple orphan. She was raised by a pair of travelers, a woodcutter and his wife, cruel and jealous. They called her Kraka, the crow, but Aslaug knew she had other blood. Every night, when she played her lute, her fingers themselves drew out melodies that the gods remembered. She spoke to animals, to shadows, to dreams. And finally, when fate called, she took off her rags, threw off the name Krok, and appeared Aslaug, the daughter of heroes, who hears the voices of the Norns. Chapter 7: The Mother of Giants. Aslaug was not only Ragnar's lover, but the mother of heroes, or, according to some legends, of spirit giants. She gave birth to 4 sons, each of whom became special. Ivar the Boneless, after Ragnar broke her warning and mated with her too early, Aslaug knew a child would be born without bones, but with a mind and rage that would darken the world. She loved Ivar in a different way, as a prophetess of her descendant. Sigurd the Snake-Eye, her favorite child. She whispered sagas to him about his grandfather, sang of strength, put mind and honor in him. She knew that one day he would die, not in battle, but at the hand of the one she had also given birth to. Ubbe and Gvitsirk, she had raised them to be future leaders, not kings. Her training was not just the sword, but intelligence, diplomacy, control. She dreamed that they would unite the brothers. But she knew that the Norns had already woven war into their threads. Chapter 8: Dreams. Aslaug dreamed as others dream, and not ordinary dreams but prophetic ones. Her bed was ablaze with fire when she woke screaming. She saw Ragnar falling into a pit of snakes, Ivar standing in the ashes of Europa, his face bloodied, Kattegat, where Lagertha sat on her throne and Aslaug's children lay dead. She wrote down her visions on birch bark, lit incense, drew circles around her bed. But no one believed her. She was considered a witch drowning in dreams. Chapter 9: The Secret Struggle with Lagertha. Aslaug and Lagertha never fought on the battlefield, but their war was internal. Aslaug is the queen of the shadow. Lagertha is the shield-bearer of the dawn. People were drawn to Lagertha's strength, but they feared Aslaug, and it hurt. She understood that love was not her tool, only fear and knowledge. And yet, she sometimes stood on the castle tower, looked at the horizon and asked the wind, "Did I really steal the throne? Or did I save it?" Chapter 10: An Alternative Death. According to legend, Lagertha killed Aslaug with an arrow, breaking her promise. But among the Skalds there is another version. Aslaug did not die. She knew about the betrayal. The night before Lagertha arrived, Aslaug summoned an old priest, and in a locked room they performed a ceremony. She left her body like a veil and went to the world of spirits. When Lagertha fired an arrow, the body fell, but Aslaug's soul was already singing over the sea. They say she appeared in the dreams of her children. Her voice rang out in storms. Her shadow followed Ivar all the way to the walls of York. And sometimes, on a full moon night, she can be seen on the shore of the fjord, singing a song without words.